Hi, I'm Helen, and today's practice is a yoga class which focuses on strengthening the core. Core is really important to keep our spines healthy and strong. So we'll start in tabletop. Bring the hands directly underneath the shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. Just to weight the spine up, we'll do a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, chest lifts and belly dips. Sit bones to the sky. Exhale, round, pushing up between the shoulder blades, tucking the pelvis under. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And return to neutral. Moving on to spinal balance, ground down into this left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. Inhale the left leg straight behind. Make sure this core is engaged and this pelvis is facing downwards. Inhale the right arm forward and really zip up that midline and lengthen out of each limb. As you exhale, round in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. And release. Other side. So right hand directly underneath right shoulder. Inhale the right leg long behind. Left arm comes forward. Zip up that midline. And exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. And release. Keeping the hands directly underneath the shoulders, we'll tuck the toes and just hover the knees off the floor. Really plug those arm bones into the shoulder sockets and breathe here. So using the core here, holding the knees off the floor, couple of breaths. And release down. And just sit back on the heels, maybe roll out the wrists. We'll move into gate pose. So extend the right leg out, the left leg out to the side. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, tip over to the left. Left hand comes down onto left leg, and this right arm leans over. So you want to make sure the body's on the side plane. Breathe here. And inhale, come back up to center. Use the strength of the core to release this right arm down, directly underneath the shoulder. Maybe this left leg lifts, the right arm to the sky. And we'll do a few elbow to knee touches. So exhale, knee and elbow come in. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, come in, stretch. So using the core to bring these in. Two more. One more. Release down. Use the strength for the obliques to come up. Move on to the second side. So left arm comes down. No, it doesn't. Left leg comes out. Arms come out to a T. The right leg comes out. Oh dear. And the right arm comes down onto the right leg and the left arm comes over. It's because I'm mirroring. I'm getting all my left and rights mixed up, so sorry about that. Breathe here. Remembering to be on the side plane. And inhale, come up. The arm comes down. directly under the shoulder, and this right leg lifts, arm to the sky. And we'll move through those crunches. So extending the arm, right arm forward, and then bring knee to elbow, extend, knee to elbow, extend. 3 more. 1 more. Release down. Use the strength of the core to come up. And we'll move into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank, and ground down into the left hand. Roll over onto the left side of the left foot. Stack the feet, and we'll come into Vashisthasana, side plank. So the left hand is directly underneath the left shoulder. These obliques are really engaged. If this is too much, stack the feet, or come down to this version. Do whatever suits you. Breathe here for 5 breaths. And then release, back to plank. Second side, rolling over onto the right. Do the version that feels good for you. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Breathe here. Then exhale, release. Back to plank, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Inhale, knee to chest, and then ground down into this left hand. Rotate on the right foot. Bring this left leg out for fallen triangle, pushing the hips up to the sky. Maybe you can lift this leg off the floor. Couple of breaths here. And release. Second side, right leg lifts, come forward, foot comes down for fallen triangle, get your position. Maybe you can lift this foot up. And then return back to downward facing dog. Knees come down and just come into a child's pose. Rotate the wrists. And we'll make our way onto the back or to the seat for some floor work. So coming into boat pose. Sit bones to the floor, feet to the floor, hold on to the back of the thighs and lift the chest, and then lean back slightly. So we want to make sure we keep this chest lifted. Maybe you lift one leg off the floor, maybe the other. So you can hold on to the back of the legs here. So this might be your boat, depending on how strong your core is. Maybe you can release the hands and then lift the right leg down, left leg down, right, down, left. One more each side. Maybe both legs at the same time. 5 breaths here. And then release down. Just come forward. We'll do high boat to low boat. So I was in a class once and they said that the number of these high boats to low boats that you had to do was dictated by how old you were. So we won't be doing that today because we'll be here forever with my age, but we'll do probably 10. Do what you can do. You can always stop, take a breath and start again. But this is something that you can build up to. So you can start with your knees bent, or you can have them straight, arms come out, then exhale, release to low boat, inhale up, and repeat like this. I think that's 6. Last one. Give it all you've got and release. As we'll do some Russian twists. So keeping the feet on the floor, spine straight and leaning back. You can do this with your legs up like this, but you may find that you really feel it in your hip flexors. So sometimes I just keep my feet on the floor, fingers clasp here, and then you're just going to rotate around and make sure your gaze follows the hand, so that way you get the movement coming from the obliques. Center, exhale, inhale, and just do this in your own time with the breath. You can also do this holding a weight, just gives you a little bit more resistance and makes the abs work a bit harder. A few more. Last one either side. And come back up. So we'll come back to lay down. Lengthen out the spine. Keep the feet flat on the floor, arms come out. And slowly release down one vertebra at a time. If you can't go anymore, because your back's rounded, then inhale, lift the chest and straighten. And then back a bit more till you stop. Inhale, straighten. A bit more till you stop. Straighten. And all the way down. We'll do some dead bugs. So the key for this pose is making sure this pelvis is tucked and the lower back is glued to the floor. That really engages the lower abs. Bring the knees up directly above the hips. Feet are parallel to the floor. Really glue this core down. Arms come up. As you exhale, right arm back, left arm, leg releases. Inhale, center, other side. So make sure that back is glued to the floor, like you've got a piece of paper underneath it, and I was to be in the room with you, I wouldn't be able to pull that paper out from underneath your spine. This way we make sure we're using the abs and we're not compensating with the back. Couple more of these. Keeping the knees directly above the hips makes it a bit harder. If you bring them in closer to the chest, the abs don't have to work as hard. Last one. And inhale, release. Next move is leg drops, single leg drops. So again, the same principles. Glue this lower back to the floor. Legs come up to the ceiling. You can keep the upper body flat to the floor, or you can lift the chest up to engage the upper abs a bit more. Keep the legs as straight as you can, point the toes. Exhale, release the right, inhale, lift, left. And just keep doing this in time with the breath. Making sure that lower back is glued to the floor. A few more of these. One more each side. And bring the knees in. Doing a lot of work on this front body, so we just need to stretch it out before we close the class. So plant the feet parallel to the hips, reach down with the fingertips and just touch the back of the heels. Plant the shoulders on the floor, and as you inhale, lift the pelvis up. So you should feel a stretch all across the abs and the front body, keeping a line from the shoulder to the knees. If it feels good, you can also interlace the fingers underneath the butt, using the triceps as a little shelf, and you maybe push up a little higher. This opens the chest a little bit more. Breathe here. Feels good to stretch out the front body. You've got the fingers interlaced, slowly release, and then roll down the spine one vertebra at a time until the sit bones come down last. Allow the hips to settle momentarily, and then bring the knees into the chest. Do a couple of knee circles in one direction, and then the other. And then release the legs one at a time. Come into a mini Shavasana, release the hands, and exhale. So you can do this as a standalone class or in addition to your normal yoga practice. Just helps strengthen the core, and having a strong core makes such a difference to a lot of these poses, particularly arm balances. And also having a strong core makes a difference in our everyday lives as well. Really helps to prevent back problems, especially around the lower back, because having a strong abdominals really supports that lower spine, whereas the upper spine has all the ribs to support it. The lower spine doesn't have that, which makes it the most vulnerable part of our back. And so thank you for practicing this core class with me. Please let me know if you thought it was too difficult, too easy, just about right. I love doing core, so I'll probably post a few more classes. But thank you for practicing with me, and until next time, bye bye.